Okay, good afternoon, folks. Hope everyone is well. Something look a bit different here. Okay, that's fine. So, Daryl, good morning to you. Karina, good morning. So, we had FOMC last night. We had a couple of, where was it? Where was FOMC? I think it was here, wasn't it? We had a big move up and then we kind of zigzagged out all over the place. And we had that big move up and a little bit of pullback. But we've had a real big drop overnight. So I believe I didn't catch too much. Didn't they drop the rates by a quarter of a percent? I think interest rates by a quarter of a percent. I seem to catch it somewhere. So hence that kind of positive move. So I don't know what's caused that overnight, but we just kind of more or less took back everything they kind of made overnight. But well, Russell, good morning to you. So market is open. So we've had this move up, two little legs, maybe a bigger channel. We could be getting two legs back. Some buyers and sellers around here. So I can see some sellers at, oh, it's overnight lows. I can see some sellers. Now they're disappearing a bit. So looks like two legs. Let's see if we get a move up now. So I can see orders up here. So maybe we get two legs. We'll see. So there's shorts at 65, which is there. So maybe this is going down a bit further. So I've got my sellers up there at 880. So it does look like a couple of legs, this. It's just looking for where those buyers are, 62.50, which is down here. So we've got two legs back here. So if we got a higher low, I don't think that'd be terrible. Trouble is, we've got buyers, quite a few buyers around this area. That might give us a higher low. We'll see. Yeah, it's a bit hard to say at the moment. So looking on this second chart, we got two legs down. It's difficult to trade at the moment because I got a mixture of buyers and sellers above and below. So that's kind of giving me, there is a higher low there. Trouble is, we've got orders at 64, 63, 62 down here. So I think that's a bit risky personally. 62.5 our average where those buyers are, and that would mean below this bar here. So I'm not saying it won't go up. It does look like two legs back, and but I just think this is a bit risky. Now let me just see if there's something like that. We could have a channel down, two attempts to push higher, and then a drop. It's tempting, that is, because there's a bunch of sellers down there. It's very tempting, that. Trouble is, I've got a mixture of. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to leave this. I don't think it's a terrible trade, but it's a little bit congested there. It does look, there is a second entry short. That may be valid. I've got but it's a little bit 62.5 to say 61. So there are buyers down here, so it may come down. It's a bit congested for me. I'm not 100% sure I like that channel. Could be something like that. Channel break, new low. So I'm just sitting tight here at the moment. So if you took that, that's not what you want to see. Yeah, it's just congested at the moment. My guess is that may push up. It's hard to say. Trouble is, we've got a lot of buyers down here and we've got sellers up here. So while we've got a mixture, it goes sideways a little bit, and that's kind of what it's doing. So that bar there that's triggered, I don't know, is looking a bit dicey. Maybe okay. Okay, so it is. If it gets below there, that kind of would have kind of worked. I just didn't like that pullback there. If it's a strong enough position, a lot of times you won't get much of a pullback. That one really pulled back. Uh, so it did work for. How many did it work for? So I wouldn't be out yet. I'm pretty sure it will drop below there though. Uh, will it? That's key. Trouble is, if I look on bookmap, we've got even amount of orders above and below, so it could do anything at the moment. So you may argue on the main chart that's a triple test, but I'm just sitting out. Loafy, how you doing, bud? Little Hammer, sorry, mate, I didn't see you there. Jeff, how you doing, bud? Ben, good morning, mate. Uh, Yeah, so I left that. It's a bit congested. I don't know whether there's a bigger channel or two separate channels. There is two legs back, and often we do move up, but it's a little bit sideways. That's the good thing about having bookmap. I can clearly see these red areas above and below, which is why it's probably chopping around. So that wouldn't have worked for me. Didn't go down enough, and I'm pretty sure that'll get stopped out now. So if I got in a tick below there, 2.75 points, that wouldn't have been enough, and I'd have been out. So it was a good decision to leave that. Uh, so it's just a little bit unclear, isn't it? We have had a triple test. If we got a higher low here, I don't think that would be a bad option. So there are orders between sort of 66 and 63. 66 and 63, which is kind of here, isn't there? Got to be a wee bit careful here. I mean, it is holding here, which is good. Thing is, you may say you took the triple test second entry long. Yeah, that I think wasn't too bad for me. It's still a bit choppy and a little bit unclear, but yeah, I did mention triple test, but it's just trouble is because I can see these orders above and below. It's just there's slightly more of them down below buyers in this area, so you know what I mean. It's just a little bit. It's a little bit confusing for me at the moment. There is a higher low there. It's too far from that EMA. As I say, you can see these chunk of orders, can't you? Not a huge amount, but there's enough to potentially pull this thing down. That bar there, uh, I think is likely to get stopped out. I'm guessing, yeah, okay. Aggressive buyers just shot up there. That's what I like about being a few seconds behind on this. When you see the move, you can look up that little box there and see those aggressive buyers. So they are trying to push price up. So I don't know. Maybe this is a bigger channel, something like that. It doesn't look terrible. We've had two legs back, a retest, and maybe that's the way up. That would kind of make sense. I can see there are sellers up here, so it does look like it's working. Trouble is that one, that was the best of the bunch, I think. But the trouble is, because I only have one trade and I'm locked out for the day, I try to kind of make the most informative decision. And I would prefer that to just broken below this little bit of liquidity here, but it did work anyway. Now, on an evaluation or something, I'd have jumped all over it. Uh, hmm. Yeah, I think a few people took that down. I think he might have done. I know somebody did. A couple did. Uh, Trouble is, well, it's flickering around here. Makes me a bit nervous. So, are we ranging a bit here? I think we may be. So I've got buyers here. This looks like it's ranging, so I wouldn't be buying there. But it may work. Who knows? Trouble is, you can see these here now. A lot of times when you have a move, we will get 2 legs back, maybe a retest, and off it goes. So that may work, but I'm sitting tight. It's 18 ticks. And it looks like it's ranging to me. So the only way I'm really getting in is off the bottom, I think. Those buyers there extend down to about 65 and pull down a bit round about here. P41, what's up? I'm all right, mate. How are you? What eval? No. What I was saying, Karina, is I'd take it on an eval. I'd have risked it on an evaluation. I can't have any more evals anyway. I'm up to my maximum. 20. So you've got to be a bit careful here. I think this is going to come down. So maybe a little channel like that with a break. It's a little bit sideways here. My guess is there is a higher low there, but this is just congested. My guess is going to come down here. How low it'll get, I don't know, but clearly getting a bit of sideways motion stuff. Okay, there is a failure there, but it's not really trapping any long, so it's of no significance to me. We've got a channel down there. First entry, second entry, failure. It's always nice to trap some bulls there, but we're not really trapping anybody as such. That bull bar hasn't triggered. So if we can get a strong bounce down here, I'd probably have a go long. I don't think we're going to get that low because I can see buyers here, but I don't want to buy it right in the middle of the range. And it may work, to be honest with you, but I'm sitting tight because I can see there are buyers at 65. There are not much down at the bottom, so my guess is that may work up. But while we got buyers at 65 down here, I have to wait for them because I don't want to get trapped. As I say, we've already had 2 legs down and a retest and a move up. So we're just in, looks like we're bouncing along that midline. And then I can see strong buyers all the way up here. Sorry, sellers. There's sellers at 80. There's sellers at 85. There's sellers at 90 up here. So my guess is traders are expecting price to get up here. So after the move up, we're clearly rattling around here. So we're gonna maybe we have 1, 2 legs. Who knows? I can see there are buyers here. I mean, there are buyers all around this area. VWAP, not that I use it, is down at 57.50, which is right down there. Just going to kill that color. I'm not super convinced it's a singular channel. I've got it down as 2 separate ones, but I've put it there anyway, just out of curiosity. It is clearly, you can see how strong that midline's playing a part, can't you? I mean, literally everything's stopping there, isn't it? Here, right the way along here, 3 times here, a couple of times here, bunch of times here. So that midline's really playing a part. So I really like the range. It's working nice. Trouble is, I only really want to go long here because it looks like we're coming up to target these overnight highs, so I can only really long gear to be safe. I think any shorts here are likely to get triggered and stopped. So I can only get down here. Trouble is, I don't think price is going to get down here. Smell. Got a smelly dog right by the side of me. His bottom smells. It's not pleasant. So 2 legs down. See how far we get down here. The only way I can get in is off the bottom, really. Trouble is, we may end up having something like a breakout. As we've bounced a few times and still can't get up, we may have a breakout down here. If it gets down here. So 65, you can see them strong orders there. There's 140 odd contracts trying to buy there. Below that bar. Now, Vladdy is supposed to be doing his stream tomorrow. Well, I'm assuming he's trading live, so I might. I'm just thinking of the best way to incorporate it into my stream. So, because what I don't want to do is playing what he's saying because he'll likely kick me out. So, what I might have it on separate speakers or something. So, what I might do is just not stream tomorrow and figure out the best way to do it. I might have it on an earpiece. I'm okay to trade like it, but he won't want me bringing anything into view or anything like that. So I might just miss the stream tomorrow and then figure out the best way to get it in. Because I still want to continue mine, obviously. Or whether I just miss Fridays or what, I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so now there's liquidity down here, which I prefer to get rid of. And hopefully then we get the break I expect. Let me get an order just ready, just in case.
Order submitted.
So we're below there, that's good. And now we're below there, brilliant. So let's see where prices go now. Bring this out of the way so I don't get stuck. That would be a second entry long if it worked. It's cleared out all liquidity there, so it's just not much in the way of buyers down here. There are sellers around about there. So maybe this thing's heading south. I can't see buyers. All I can see is sellers around here, so I'm getting rid of my order there.
Order cancelled.
As you can see, strong orders at 70. That's there. Mind you, that's a fair bit up. 65, there's some as well. So you don't know whether there's going to be... We're going to pull back here because we've spent multiple times trying to get up. It's hard to say, really. I'd like to see strong buyers here, and I'm not seeing them. There are buyers at 55, which is at the midline of the overall, but this to me is kind of giving me the impression it may be on its way down. But also I've got to give it the benefit of the doubt whether we have a failed breakout, but this doesn't look like it's breaking out to me. This looks like it's on its way down. Quite steeply, I might add. So, I mean, there's a mass. There's over 1,000 contracts sat at 870. Now, whether they'll get yanked, I wouldn't be shocked. But there's over 1,000 contracts. I think it's something like 1,044 contracts sat there to go short. Now, that strikes me as a strange place to short this. If you think it's coming down, you'd really be shorting around here where you're getting all this bounce. So whether that's just people playing around a bit, trying to pull price up, who knows? But it'd be interesting to see what happens if it gets close to there, whether those orders get yanked. You can see them. 1,073 contracts. Excuse me a sec. Oh, sorry. Yeah, fair move down this is. Thing good and truly toppled, didn't it? We came down, well, not huge, well, 70 points overnight, literally straight down. Doesn't often move that steep. I'm not sure what happened there to create that. I know, where did we move? So we moved from the, I think it was there, yeah, that was FOMC. We had that initial, we had a couple legs up, pull back, leg up. It was kind of zigzagging. We bounced 3 times in, it took off, and then we recovered a little bit, but then we just came right down more or less where we still, well, we literally, anything we made yesterday just got obliterated. So I've got orders at 855. That's there. That's kind of where we want to pull back to if we can. I can't see where the channels broke there, so so 855, a little bit above 855 actually, around about maybe 66-ish. There is a second entry short there, but that to me may come back, to be fair, but that to me, we haven't had a break of it yet. So it's one of those things, isn't it? It's nowhere near close enough to the EMA, even if I could see 2 legs. So I'm hoping now it's triggered, it pushes back up to these sellers up here, a little bit above 55. So let's put it at 66, but quite bearish at the moment, so it may just drop, but fingers crossed. If we can get a second leg up, we may get a nice entry here, but it's pretty definitive that move down, so I can't see it coming back, which is a bit frustrating because it's a nice, easy to read channel, that, so you can really judge it. But there is a second entry short there, but it just looks like one little leg to me. You may think differently, but you can see it there, can't you? This supposed to be 3 bars in a micro channel. There's only 2 there. What can you do? It's too risky, I think. It's not close enough to the EMA. Not only that, there was sellers there. So what I don't want to happen is for it to trigger me, come up for a second leg, and then drop like a stone. Disco, how you doing, bud? So it's just too risky, that. There's nothing I could do that. It's just way too far away from that EMA, really. It doesn't look like a lot, but in relative terms, it is. But unfortunately, that's just kind of the nature of the beast. We kind of got a good idea where it's going, but I guarantee if you do nothing, it drops. The second you get in there, it'll trigger you. That's how this market works. I swear to God, they're spying for us from all these cameras. It's mad, isn't it? But it's the way it works. It really is. You just don't get away with stuff. You never get luck in this business. Never. It does not happen. Why it doesn't happen, I don't know. You think you better close your eyes and get into a position that may win, but it just never works like that. So, yeah, I mean, it's that bearish. You may take a risk, but for me, I can't see Mac taking that. I really can't. Depends. If your bars look slightly different, you may do, but it's just too far, just from the EMA for me. 100% win rate on the setups. I don't take. Absolutely. It's always the way, isn't it? When you do nothing, they always work, don't they? I know, it's mad, isn't it? So someone else has turned that into a larger channel. That may be relevant actually, because if I join those two, it's not far away. That doesn't look terrible, I don't think. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's sort of catching there, isn't it? Okay. Trouble is, we've had a channel with a break and a new low, so you've still got to be a bit careful. Drawing that, yes, it's bounced there, but it's still going to have to look right. So those orders up there, they're still there above 55, which can't see price getting up there. It may do. We may get two legs, hard to say, but I can only see one person with a wider channel. Thomas Way doesn't, surprisingly. Where is he? Might have done. I like to see a couple of channels, really. Has anybody else got that wider channel? So nothing we could do there. Again, straight up, straight down. So trouble is, if it's that bearish, sometimes that's what it does. As soon as we get a break or whatever, the thing just drops. Rodian, how you doing, my friend? So 50, there are some sellers there, which you'd kind of expect, but straight away we're at the lows again. It just, I tried the wider channel, but it isn't doing anything for me. No, it's not really, is it? I mean, we've had a break of that one now anyway, so kind of irrelevant, isn't it? Let me just kill the colour so it's an area of interest, but not something. I mean, that's super clear, isn't it? It's a shame, really, but I think that's too risky. You may argue there's 3 bars. It's negligible, the break, if it is a channel. It certainly doesn't look like 2 legs to me. It just looks like one little leg up. It may look different on your chart, but for me, it's just one little leg up and then we drop. You can't get into there. It is a second entry short by the count, but trust me, the guaranteed, as soon as you get in there, it'll come up, make 2 beautiful, juicy legs, tick above there, and then down it'll come. That's how it works. So I've given up trying to outsmart the market. You're never gonna win. Maybe I had a second channel to. Yeah, I mean, there's always a chance, isn't there, that we end up doing something like that. That's usually how things happen. Kind of works with that. So that's certainly a possibility. So let's just put that there just out of curiosity and see if we get a bounce here. Doesn't look too bad at the bottom, but it's too early to take a trade here. You've got to give that a little bit of space. So I can see buyers at 40 there. So there are people willing to buy there. I dare say they're trying to pick the move back up, but so we have bounced here, but that's really only a first entry, or will be a first entry. So it's too risky to take, really. If this is a channel, which it is, we've had a break, 2 pushes to a new low. So that's played out. The larger one, if there is a larger one, is played out. So you've got to give this some space now because it could reverse. Is it going to? It's hard to say. If you draw that across there, we've definitely found some possible support there. So it wouldn't be the worst place to bounce, but it's just a bit early, really, isn't it? So if you'd have taken that first bar there, where's this thing going? It's quite bearish, so it may just come down. I mean, that's pretty steep, isn't it? It can't continue like that forever. It's got to feather out a bit, and maybe this is it. But we just can't really trade it at the moment until we get, some kind of second entry. It's always good to get a bullish bar here, and then to push above it, trap some longs, and then get a nice bearish drop, and then we got our second entry there. We may get one. So I'm looking for a bull bar to trigger, but ideally a little bit closer. So there's the bull bar. Let's see what happens. We've triggered above it. Let's see if this thing drops now, giving us a second entry. Just Just going to get an order just in
Order
case.
submitted.
Okay. Right. Didn't really get an opportunity there. I didn't even get near the damn thing. Okay, I'm cancelling my order. I
Order
don't like this
cancelled.
flicking around stuff. So I was looking at it. It's not perfect. It's a bit congested. I'd have preferred that bar to be a little bit more bullish and that bar to be a little bit more bearish. I don't think it's given me 3 points it may have done. Trouble is, I may not have even got in there. I may have just been lucky there. But is this on the turn? It may be. I just don't like that flickering around. There are orders at 35 down here. There's a failure stroke lower high. I'm not interested in this. Market's flicking around here. It's making me nervous. It's starting to, it looks like it's starting to bottom out for me. So it may have a strong push above all this. You may say triple test there. Trouble is, it ain't finished yet. Okay, I'm sitting tight here. It's making me nervous, all this flicking around, which is a good thing. Yeah, it's moving too fast. Do you know what? When it used to move fast like that, I used to get excited and think, yeah, we're moving down when we move quick, and I used to get stuck. So now when I see that, I just, pull the plug just for a few minutes, give it time to slow down, because there seems to be sellers and buyers really battling there. That's why we seem to be getting that quick. But this does look to me like it may start to reverse. You can see there that there's probably an area where we do seem to be bouncing, previous resistance becomes support and so on, whether that's the case or not, but it's often how it works. So this may reverse here. So we've had a channel down there with a break, 2 pushes to a new low. This may be just retesting. So this, let's leave it for a second. Touch, touch, touch. We are coming away. We may get a break and a new low here, but this could reverse. So there are buyers down here at 35. Sorry, at 35. So this may well still come down, but it's going a little bit sideways. And as I say, it may be bottoming for a big push. So you've got to be a little bit careful. So I can see sellers around the 47, which is there above any previous liquidity here. So 2 legs up, bearish bar. See if we get a strong move down now. 68 as well up here. So there. Okay, that's clicked into some of them. So they've pushed up to here now. So, and further up as well, 55. So is it starting to pull price, or are we going to get a quick drop? I always think it's going to be interesting when we get above there, just to see if it picks off liquidity and then drops. But this is looking, I need to leave this alone and just give it some space. I mean, the thing may tank, but we don't know that. So those orders are gone. 55, you can see there's 118 contracts at 55, which is above, it's above that bear bar there. So I'm removing that for a sec. Channel break, 2 pushes to a new low. Break of the lows there, depending on what, and this looks like it's starting to work up. Trouble is, it's hard to trade all this because you never know how high it's going to go and you never know how low it's going to go. When it's bouncing in the same place, it's easy, or easier. But the trouble is, every time we're coming down, you don't know whether these are the lows and it's going to take off, or whether we're just having a pullback and it was a bottom. But it did look like that, didn't it? Because there had definitely been some shorts in there. Triple test. Trouble is, if I'm going to take a long there, I'd want to clearly see no congestion and a strong bull bar. It was a bit weak, that. Now, you can clearly see a bounce, and you could argue there's a triple test here, and it's triggered, and it's come back, but it's just sat there, and then all of a sudden we take off there. There's no trade there, unfortunately, but it's just kind of how it is. It's go. Now, are we going to get a break here? We're getting close to this level here, so are we going to get a break? And then something wider. I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. Okay, so no, quite a strong move. So orders there at 55, which it's going to pick up, I think. It's weird that people are still willing to sell there. That's the last place I'd be selling, personally. You've got to give this a little bit of a wide berth to figure out what it wants to do. Now we're getting aggressive buyers coming in, which are doubling the aggressive sellers. So we're at the midline here of the this bigger channel. Yeah, there wasn't nothing obvious there. There was a second entry short, but that worked. And then you got that triple test. We didn't get it. If we'd have got a strong move there, then that might have been, well, there wasn't a failure anyway, but that's kind of where you want a failure, triggering a triple test or a second entry short when the channel's played out. But there you go. See, selling there, straight away you're in trouble because it's just absorbed that and then pushed up strong 14 ticks. So this is heading for the hills, isn't it? We'd have to get a break at some time. The good thing is, though, with here we had a clear break and then 2 pushes. Unfortunately, because the thing's that bearish, we just couldn't get nowhere near the EMA because it's that bearish. As soon as it breaks, sellers are just jumping back in on it. And that's the problem sometimes. If it goes, if it moves in a direction that steep, sometimes we just don't. It's annoying, but we just don't get a look in, do we? So is that the answer, to take something more risky? I don't know. I don't personally, but when you see that, you may think that it is a second entry short by the count because it's so bearish. But the trouble is, my experience is, if you break your rules and take something more risky and you lose, that's when I get annoyed with myself, and that's when I always used to do stupid things like take a riskier trade to get it back. So I now always just prefer to just wait. It works for me. I don't take as many trades, but fortunately I don't take as many losses, so it kind of doesn't hurt as much. So Kenny, how you doing, bud? See you there. Beautiful PA. It is all that to retest overnight. Range blast it off from here. It kind of bounced off that area, didn't it? So we're at the bottom of this area now. So similar to that, you probably expect some profit taking there, and hence a break. But if I look over here now, I can see a ruck of buyers between 55 and about 62. So I'd expect a break here. We may not get one, but that's what I'd expect. So where did I say? So between 55 here, where that EMA is, and maybe 62, 63 around here. So there are buyers here. Let's see if it gets back here. There are buyers all the way here, see, so it may not even get anywhere near. 55 is the lowest I can see. I think it's just going to be like this. I don't think it's going to get close before buyers just jump back in. But we are in buyer territory now. Trouble is, if you jump in here, your stop's got to go below here. Then you've got a 5-6 point stop. You just can't do it trading this way, really. Fortunately. Come on, have a little drop. Oh, we're going to get lucky. Certainly want to break above there. That would give us our first entry. A bit higher. There we go. So now we need to pull back a bit. Whether we're going to or whether this is going to take off, I don't know. We pull back, got about as close to the EMA as there, and then come down. Frustrating, isn't it? That's what happens when the trend's strong. It just doesn't quite get anywhere. We need to get right back there, really. And now all these orders are getting yanked because the price has moved. It's frustrating because when you get a nice channel, so many times we trade there's no guarantees is the channel right, but you can't really misconstrue that. It's pretty clear. And this one. So when you get a break and a good setup, it's almost always going to work. But unfortunately, so many times when it's moving strong, it just gets nowhere near. As soon as we have a break, traders are just jumping back in. Even if you traded at the EMA, even if you just bought at the EMA, both occasions there, we didn't get back there. If you got in here, if you got a decent setup here, trapping shorts, look at the potential there. I mean, even just to the break, there's 20 points there. God, that would certainly swing things in your favour. That's for certain. So there are buyers at 65, which is here. Trouble is, Now we've had that break and a new high, got to give this thing a bit of space because it's not really, it's relatively random, isn't it, at the moment? I thought once we bounced here a few times that would get up to these highs, but it didn't. Uh, Looked like it may be working into another channel, but then just kind of bottomed out and turned. So it's hard to know what it's going to do here because there's no real uh, clear sort of patterns to it. Is there clear sort of obvious legs and obvious moves? I mean, that's about the most obvious. Couple of legs up, couple of legs down, but this not so straightforward. Okay, so a little channel with a break. Ordinarily, I'd expect this to come down now and break below here. The thing's not playing the game, is it? It's not kind of moving the way it usually does. That bounce giving a possible larger uptrend vibes. Yeah, I thought the same there. In like a larger downtrend of something, then it just sort of turned and up it went. So I know Thomas Wade had it from that bottom and that small swing like that. But if I go there, it's hard to say, really, isn't it? Depending on where you go there, but it's just hard to say. Uh, that one I can definitely say is valid with a break and a new eye. Thomas Wade's got that larger channel. Mind you, he tends to do his channels early. Even the bottom, he had a wider channel even at the bottom. Whereas if you look at Dan's, he does the complete opposite. Dan keeps things much tighter. Mind you, I'm surprised he added that, but maybe he added that later. But he's got that tight, whereas Thomas Wade, they do trade quite different. I mean, even with the first move up, where you could kind of, view it as as a single channel. He goes in wide, so uh, it's amazing, really, how we kind of see things quite different. Uh, but I was expecting when we had this confirmation, the quick move down there. I thought we may be getting something a little wider there down to these bottoms, but then all of a sudden it looked like it was kind of bottoming, and then it took off big style, didn't it? When did it go up? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 30 points more or less straight up. Uh, So we've had a channel there with the break two pushes to a new high. We had the same. Those pushes are relatively sizey. We had a channel there, break two pushes. So it's kind of very similar to this, isn't it? Strong down with the break, two larger moves down. Same again, two larger moves up. And then it started to bottom. And it may end up doing the same thing here, especially at these, well, we've bounced at these levels here. So we'll see. It's not. Sometimes these markets are relatively straightforward. You can see clear legs everywhere, and they just kind of work how we like them to. But other days, they're just a lot more random and harder to read. So there are sellers around this area, the 75 area, which you probably would expect some, wouldn't you? This obviously seems to be an area where it's bounced before. Whether it'll adhere to those or whether it'll push up. Uh, there are sellers at 80, so it may go up a bit higher. And they're a chunk at 80. Sometimes when you get those, it's, sorry, 90. That would be right at the, yeah, that would be, is there a gap there, is there? Or is it filled? Uh, yeah, I think it's just filled, isn't it? So let's try the larger one. Trouble is, you'd have to cut a chunk of it away, wouldn't you? Maybe. Hmm. See if I push to that. Looks a little bit better. Yeah, see if you go to there, then we've had a break. So it's so hard. You really need to be confident on your channels, don't you, if you want to trade them? Because if we've had a break, but this doesn't seem to want to stop. So bookmap showing me sellers at 85 and sellers at 90, which is up there. So so possibly a leg. It looks a bit cleaner on the 10,000 tick chart. Leg and a leg. So there are some buyers here. And 75 to maybe 78. Around that area. Which kind of would fall into place with this, wouldn't it? Trouble is, these little pullbacks don't seem to go very far before they turn, with the exception of that one. Nothing much you can do with that, I don't think. There's no second entry. It's more or less just a channel down, really. And then off it took. So, although we got buyers here, it's just not getting back, is it? It went close, and then off we go to the races again. So they go down as much as 75, but right in this area, we may get something. I don't think we're going to, though. We got close. It's the same, really. Here, we never got close to the EMA. And here as well, little pullback there, maybe a point away or so, and then it took off again. So same there, bit of a pullback, and off we go again. So it's certainly clearing distances. It's quite a sweeping day so far, isn't it? Considering we spent a chunk of the day, certainly up to FOMC, just kind of doing that yesterday, and we're wildly swinging, which is great if you can get at these areas. And there's certainly some profits. I suppose if you're taking trades with runners, that's when you're probably going to make your money. Every first entry, yeah. Trouble is, it's easy to say that every first entry, but until you get a move like this and realize it's happened and you decide to do something like that, things can change. I don't really see how you can. I mean, there is a second entry, but look how far we are from the EMA, and we've had kind of 2 legs up there. So there's nothing really you can do here. You're risking things if you trade there because it's clearly chopping sideways. Now, there's quite likely some bears trapped there, but you don't know it's going to do that. I ummed and ahed about that one. We've had 2 legs down and kind of a retest. But really, if I go long there, I'm going long right into the middle of that chop. So sometimes I tend to be a little bit over strict, but I'd rather be on that side than kind of the opposite and getting a little bit too kind of willy-nilly without, much thought. Which surprises me because discipline and patience were the 2 things I struggled with more than anything when I started. I seem to have plenty of them at the moment. Nothing as yet, bud. Nothing as yet. There's nothing. I mean, in hindsight, there's nothing. I ummed and ahed about that triple test. It's off the bottom a little bit. I always prefer them sat there, dropping below anything else previous. But it is just a little bit. We've already made an attempt to go up. You just don't know what's going to happen. And I'd be going along into the middle there. So I ummed and ahed about that. 1, 2, 3. A couple of people took that. We pushed down, then went sideways. So I didn't like it personally. Nothing there. We didn't get close to the EMA. Then we have 2 legs down. It does look like it's bottom in there, doesn't it? I'd have preferred that to be a second entry short with a stronger bar there to push up. It was a triple test, but I'd have preferred a second entry short, because then you'd have for sure got more traders trapped there. But I'd want a stronger bull bar there. And then if you can get those, really, we don't see that as much, I don't think. But if you can get a good strong, I mean, look how well that moved. It's 20 points just up to here. So, you know, if you can get a decent move like that. So, what can I see orders wise? So there's strong orders around the 77.5, which is here, right in the middle of that, right in the middle of this again. So let's see. So trouble is, you may say we got a channel with a little break. That's possible. Trouble is, if this is a channel, we're not getting to the top. So we may be losing a bit of momentum here. So you've got to be a little bit careful. Every time we have a pullback, it moves up strong. I've got a feeling this isn't going to. So 75 is where the strongest orders are, which is there. So I'd like it to hit the bottom. Now it's getting a little bit congested. Trouble is, because we didn't get to the top, this is where we could have a slightly larger break than you may think. We could trigger something here and push down for a second leg. I don't like that. It's just not right. It's just risky. (9:52 Eastern Standard Time). I'll have a look in a bit, bud. Now that may well work, but look at this. We got 1, 2, 3. It's almost doges side by side. So I would have to wait here because there are orders down here. So we may get a leg and a leg. There are orders at 70. There are orders at 75. Sellers at 82, 85, which is around this area. So we may trigger and then drop. But I'm sitting tight here. I don't like that one bit. It may well take off, but I don't know. Sometimes you see these and you think next time I'll just jump in and it triggers you, shoots down and stops you out. It does look like it's going to push up, but I don't see how you can take that like that. It's just way too risky. We know there are sellers around the kind of 82 area, so you may get trapped here a bit. There are sellers around here, so it might push up, but that's way too risky for me. My gut feeling is this may decide to have a quick drop. That's a red flag for me, that is. No, it's not looking so strong all of a sudden now, is it? There are sellers around about here. On my second chart now, it's not looking healthy, is it, at the moment? It's not looking strong. It may work. There is a higher low technically there, but it's still congested. We've got a bit of sideways area. So for me, this has got to push down before I'd even consider going long. Now, bookmark's not confusing me. It's keeping me on the straight and narrow. While we've got those orders below price, my gut feeling is it may come down and pick them up. So with looking at that, and looking at what price is doing, my gut feeling is it's going to come down here towards these buyers, stop out these bars here, especially that one. So there we go. So it did what I expected to based on the orders I was seeing at something 5. We've now had 2 nice legs down there. So let's see if we can get something here. And it's bouncing off the side there. Yeah, so I'm still sitting tight at the moment. There are some more buyers a little bit lower, maybe 63-ish, something like that, which is where that measured move is, funnily enough. Bar's no good anyway. That one inside bar, so there's nothing I can do anyway. But what I'm liking is there are sellers up here at 55 above price. So 2 legs down. My guess is it's probably going to go over there. I just need a decent entry here. So there are buyers a little bit further down at 70. So I've just got to sit tight at the moment. But whether you think that's one big channel, it seems to be the general idea. Max got it as that, so that's okay for me. But we've got to push a bit lower here. So we've hit these buyers. Let's see whether these get absorbed or the thing turns. So there is a bull bar there. As we've got orders at 70, I would have to wait for a higher low above that EMA. Trust me, Bookmaps kept me out of losing trades. All I want to know is where buyers and sellers are. Now, see that's triggered there. Now, before, 2 legs down, measured move, I'd have taken a long there. Why didn't I? Because I can see a chunk of orders at 70. So I guarantee you now there'll be traders going long there, and it triggered them, came down and stopped them out. That's why I left it. So it's saving my arse more than I can tell you. So I bet you pound to a penny, got traders who would have taken that 2 legs down. Really perfect measured move as well on that green bar. Look at that. Almost to the tick, and then a strong move up. You can have lower bearish bar, lower high. So, but with those orders at 70, I can't get into a trade here. Now, is this reversing? It's possible. Is this channel valid? Not 100% sure. Took the failed second entry long, did you? Yeah, I'm still thinking at the moment a push up higher, but I'm not super convinced. But that did seem to go up at a nice channel, but it has had a break in its own merit. So my guess is it's probably going to push up. But I would need to wait for a higher low above that. And what I don't want to do is get caught in any type of a downtrend, which it's possible. It's not as steep as I'd have expected it to be. It is 2 legs down. And there are sellers at 85, which is above the highs. So channel up, break, push up, new high. But at the moment, I'm just sitting tight here because I don't know whether I'm not sure whether that trade is valid. What I do, the trend, we've got to push up there, break new high, we pull back, then we move up again. So you could certainly draw that trade off its own merit, like that, with a break of new highs. So that's played out. So there's always the possibility this could come down. But I guarantee you now there'll be traders looking to go long there. And as we got orders up there, I wouldn't be surprised if it does push up. So based on that one, I'm not 100% sure whether I think that whole thing is valid. But a while ago, I'd have taken that on the spot. 2 really nice legs back. bearish bar, lower high, trapped. What happened? It triggered it, stopped it out. So it's saving me more times than I can care to tell you. See, some traders took the second entry long there. See, Thomas Wade, uptrend still needs a new high. That's if it is an uptrend. People looking for a higher low here. As I say, I'm not unconvinced this isn't a channel down. It doesn't look terrible at the moment. I still wouldn't jump into a short just yet. I want to give this some space. But with these orders at 70, they're making me nervous. As we know, these orders, these passive orders on here do act as like a magnet. The only way I'd know there was buyers down here by looking at this. And because there were orders down here, I stayed out of that. Actually, yeah, two nice legs down, bullish bar, trapping some shorts there. What happened? Triggered, came down. So this is a possibility. I would still like to see. Well, a lot of people are thinking that's a channel up. It's hard to say. I thought the same there. It looked like two separate channels, but you've got to give this a little bit of space because I'm not sure what it's going to do at the moment. So what I tend to do is look at what I'm looking, and when I think I'm looking at, what I like to do is know where these buyers and sellers are. That's why I put these on, and then I'm focusing on my setup. When I see a setup, I'm looking at these areas. Where are their buyers? If I take a long here, if there's a chunk of buyers below me, chances are it may trigger me, come down and stop me out. So that's kind of how I use Bookmap. And I tell you for certain, it saves you losing trades. So there's a second entry short there. Now that may come down. I'm still leaving things at the moment. I'm on the fence. My gut feeling is it's probably going to come down below there and below there, and maybe hit these and maybe start to turn into a downtrend. But I'm on the fence at the moment because it could turn and push up. We've had two legs down. We've had a bounce. Maybe this is a higher low and it may shoot up, but I'm not super convinced. Those orders down there may start to kind of slowly pull price down. So I got mixed feelings here. I know for a fact, I can read it on some of the discords. We've had two legs down. I know there's traders looking for a higher low here. But look at this. It's not quite sure what it wants to do, is it? But with those orders down there, my guess is I certainly wouldn't want to get into a long here anyway. But you never know. It could shoot up. It could come down. You ended up. Yeah, see, I go for a flat 3 points. Even with the two legs down there, that bar's no good. So if it gets below there, it's bound to trap some longs. So there we go. So it's tick below there, and I can see there's buyers down here. Not that I want to buy here now, because this is now starting to look like a downtrend. Especially now we've got below this level here. So I'm just going to get rid of that just for now. That channel has played out. That channel has played out. I'm still not ready to go short at the moment because it's a bit, this area is a little bit congested, and I'm not sure it wants it. It may come down to these sellers. Now it's taken out these possible areas of liquidity. It may push up, but I've just got to give it some space. I am aware of those orders there, and it could sort of get sucked down to them. There's no entry for Pats there. You may argue there's a triple test there. I'm not looking at that chart at the moment. You may argue triple test. So we've got 2 legs down, 1 attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. Let's see if this thing gets anywhere. 2 legs down, 2 bounces. My guess is it's probably going to push up to the high, so maybe that's valid. Unfortunately, there's no entry there. If you took the trade right at the measured move there, triggered, stop you out. There's no entry here. The bar's naff. That bar, it didn't break below there, so it's nothing you can take here from a Pat's point of view. Mac won't mark any of this. Certainly if his chart looks like mine. Trouble is, we got orders up here at 85 and orders down here at 70. So it's kind of are we going up? Are we going down? It's kind of rattling around at the moment. Took the second entry long on my left chart, did you? See, I'm still not convinced this thing is going to get up there. We've tried 3 times now, so it may just drop. And that's why I left getting in long. That one didn't look too bad, but I was looking at my main chart at the time. So it's picking up these orders now. So that's why I left getting into a trade there, because of those orders down there. He's sucking price down. We know this acts as a magnet. So I made all the right decisions there. Now, there was a setup on here. I'm looking at the main chart there. There's no setup here. 2 legs down. If you took that trigger, just stopped you out. No setup there, no setup there, no setup there. And it did what I kind of thought it may do. Push down. So we got a little downtrend there with the break. Push down to a new low. So you can't deny this helps me. Absolutely. I got bookmap in front of me right now. What should I be looking for? See, it takes a bit of time to get used to things, but all I'm looking for now, you see this trade here. We got 2 legs down, and there's a long setup there. You got a bear bar there and a lower high there. Now, you wouldn't necessarily be thinking about going short there, would you? Because most traders I can see, Pat, have got this a bigger uptrend, and everyone I can see is saying we need a new extreme now. So if you'd have taken that trade, see how it bounced at that measured move, really nice measured move. Let's get that right. So there we are there, yeah. So you can see that touches that bottom bar, perfect bounce at a measured move, nice bull bar. If you got shorts in here, you'd have to be thinking this is likely to push up. 2 perfect legs down after a bigger channel. I tell you now, there'll be Pat's traders going along there. What happens? It triggers you, stops you out. Why didn't I take that? Because I could see there were orders down here. and orders down here. Quite a few orders at 70. Now, you can see these orders, they act as magnets like the EMA. They pull price towards it. So if I'm looking to go long on a certain bar and I can see a lot of buy orders below me, am I right or are they right? If there's enough of them, I have to pay attention that I might be doing the wrong thing. So all I do is when I see these areas here at like 85 up here and there was 70 down here, all I do is put these on my chart. And if I'm going long right above where there's one, it just makes me hold back. Now, there's always a possibility it could have still pushed up. But then what I would do then is wait for a high low above the EMA to give me more confirmation. So these show you where passive orders is. So if I put a limit order up here, that technically would show on there as a passive order sat waiting to be picked up. But this little box here where you can see the aggressive buyers and sellers, you don't know when they're just going to decide to sell. So even if there'd have been buyers down here, if enough aggressive buyers like that price, they might just decide to jump in, which could still push price up. So the best thing to do is just to look where these orders are, mark them on your chart and just see how price reacts to them. It's amazing how price reacts to them. But see what's happening now, there's loads of traders now looking to go long here, and I guarantee some of them will. Now, that one, fortunately, did make a few points, so you'd have been okay there. So you'd have got 3¼ points there, but then it just turned. So, you know, I get the interest in going along there. Fortunately, it worked. But then because we had these strong buyers down here, it looked to me like it was going to suck price down, and it's exactly what it did. So this is just the free version. This is all I do is watch it on YouTube, but it gives me an idea where there are buyers and sellers where I wouldn't normally go. But a while ago, 2 nice legs down, I'd have jumped all over that trade and I'd have lost it. So my gut feeling seeing this, I think it's more likely it's going to start to move down, especially with these orders down here, and it did exactly that. So, you know, I use it not necessarily to get into a trade. I use it more to stop me getting into a bad trade and keep it on that right side of the market. But it absolutely 100% helps me. So nothing as yet, bud. It's not the easiest trade at the moment. It's just kind of swinging, isn't it? So we've had a break in, a new low. So trouble is we're hitting where we're bouncing at the top are all at different levels. Same with the bottom. So it's although it's kind of ranging, it's almost impossible to trade it as a range. We have had 2 legs up. We didn't quite make a second leg there, but a full second leg. But it's not straightforward at the moment. Also can add some. So the trouble is, it's easy to start drawing channels here. There's something about this channel that I didn't like. It doesn't bounce here. It does here, but it's just, I don't like it for some reason. So getting rid of it. Now what do I see? So I see channel break new high. Great. It wanted to go up higher, so we got a channel break new high. So all these channels are played out. So there's no necessarily need to go long. You know, as we know, market after a break of a channel always likes to make a new extreme. It did it there, it did it there, it did it there, and it did it there. So same again, I would suggest that isn't a channel. So we got something like that. So we got a channel there, we got a break and a new high. So same again, break there, new low. So these channels do generally, maybe 98% of the time, when they have a break of it, they always make a new extreme, or a new low in this case, a new high in this case. So you got to take a bit of precaution there, and the safer option is to wait for the higher low. But I tell you now, 2 legs back, that's something I'd have taken before. And I'll tell you now, there'll have been traders taking that. So fortunately, it worked okay, that one, but it could have completely gone against you, but then it had that big flush down and took out that one. But you'd have got some points on there, fortunately. But it is two legs. When this pushes up and comes down again, but that's the beauty. I could see those buyers down here. So why are people not buying around here? Uh, it's hard to know. So I think sometimes if you go with a majority, I could see there were buyers down here. So my gut feeling was to stay out of this, and it did make two attempts after the two legs, and then drop down suddenly, and it hit that level, and obviously absorbed them buyers, and then sellers took over, and so on and so forth. Uh, so it does help me. It helps me stay out of potentially traps and riskier trades. Uh, it may make you a little bit more paranoid about stuff, but it I can tell you now, it's definitely saved me money. And I like all the colours and the little balls, very Christmassy. So, so it's got that side of it too. I mean, you can pay for this yourself, but to be honest with you, I don't need up to date data every second. I've got these areas drawn. I can clearly see where the 85 is up here. You can see orders there. Now, the redder they are, the stronger those orders are, and you may kind of be better off to follow those. But some of these orders down here, which are a bit faint and a bit yellow, often don't make a difference. So you can see that area of 70 there. There are orders there, but they're not super strong. So prices tend to not pulling back, and it still tend to be kind of moving up. It's definitely hard to read today. It really is. It's just doing a lot of this. So those orders at 70, they are they're yellow. So it may pull back. There's a possible break or an overshoot, whichever you like. So it may get a small pullback here, but uh, mm, yeah, I see. So those orders there's more in there now. Those orders at 70, price came back, hit the orders at 70, and starting to move up. So without bookmap, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know where there were buyers. And if you know where there are buyers, you may avoid getting into a trade when buyers are below you, or vice versa. Yeah, you can. If you see on here, you see the orders above price are red, so they're sellers. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to hit the sellers and come down. It may absorb the sellers. Let's talk about the other way. So if there are buyers here, price may still come down. But the more red, the stronger the red is, the more contracts at that level. So all I use it for, if I was going to take a short, see this big thick red line at 85. If I was going to take a short just below that, it's that close to this level, chances are it's going to trigger me and push up and stop me out. So if I take a trade, all I want to know is if I'm going long, is there's not a ton of buyers where my stop is. Because as we know, a lot of the times with this one, price will trigger you and come down. And I had buyers down here, and then I had buyers further down. I had buyers there. So I'm going along there. What happened? We came back down. There was buyers down here as well. And then it looked like we may be going up, but I can still see strong buyers at 70. So I left it. What happened? Down it came. So if there are strong buyers near where your stop is likely to be, I tend to stay out of the trade. It'll take you a little bit of time to get used to it, but it's not that bad. But all I do is see where these big strong red areas are and just put little lines so I can tell where there are sellers or where there are buyers. And if it contradicts what I'm looking to trade, I stay out of it. And I can't tell you how many times it would have triggered me and come down and stop me out. A lot of the trades I wouldn't have got in anyway. I'm a little bit more experienced now, and I don't fall for the traps as much. But now and again, if I think this is okay, and it's, if I think, yeah, it's not too bad, that'll be the final nail in the coffin to stay out of a trade. Oh, okay, what's going on here? It's hard to say, really. Channel break, 2 pushes to a new high. Hmm. It's hard to know what to do. It's not super clear. We got a channel there with a small break and a new high. So I can see that 70 level seems to be important. So there are buyers there right below that bull bar. That's interesting. And there are buyers at 877 as well. Sorry, sellers at 877, which is there. So do I want to go along with those buyers there? They're not a huge amount. There's 100 contracts there. So I'm probably going to avoid that trade. I wouldn't take it anyway. It's not a high or low or anything, but not only there, there's sellers there before the highs. And as we know, 88 is a large amount of sellers. Sorry, 85, which is there. So those buy orders are a little bit higher around about there, so it may hold around about there. They've just changed. They've gone from 70 to pushing up. They're in the middle of that 70 and 2.5. There we go. Come down and hit them buyers. Now let's see if they absorb it or it pushes up. So, see what I mean about that one? What happened? It went above it, came down below it. Not that I'd have taken that one, but I was just making an example about the buyers down here. There are some at 65. So is this thing coming down now, or are we having two legs and then we've got to move up? It's hard to say. Channel with an overshoot or a break, sorry, and a new low. Channel break, new high. See those orders at 65. Touch over 65. Got two legs down and a bull bar. I'm not taking that bull bar because I can see stronger orders below price than above it. You may say it's two legs down, but if enough aggressive buyers buy, then they'll push price up. But there's not much in the way of sellers here. More buyers down here, so that's why I would avoid that two legs down and that bullish bar there. But as I say, regardless of these down here, if there's enough buyers that like this, aggressive buyers, and just hit the buy button, price will go up. But my guess is it's probably going to come below there, especially if these orders stay down here. Okay, see those aggressive buyers there? 2 odd million compared to 1 odd million. So that's what I mean. If there's enough aggressive buyers are buying there, they'll push price up. So there are orders at 77.5 now, which is there, which is not quite at the top, but there are still buyers down here. So I'm just avoiding this. It's clearly going a little bit sideways now. So you may say a leg up there, 2 attempts to go lower, push above the EMA. So 77.5 there. There's 150 contracts. There's 108 contracts there. But there's quite evenly spaced above and below, which is why price is probably just going sideways at the moment. So if I'd have taken that one, I didn't anyway, but that would have seen it got 2 points off it, no more. But with those buyers down here at 65, that would make me stay out of there. Whether it'll get down there or not is another thing, but it's certainly looking like it, isn't it? So if I'd have taken that one, channel up 2 legs back, I'd have got stopped out. So although there's slightly more sellers up here than buyers, technically this channel is at a small break and a new high, so you may likely trap. But then you can see slightly more aggressive sellers here, so 2 legs back and again triggered, stopped out. Now you got 2 points on it anyway, but I stayed out of it because I could see there were strong buyers down here at 65. And where's price going? It's coming down towards that level. So I wouldn't have said that would have happened. If you'd have said to me, without looking at Bookmap, after this, after 2 pushes down, where do you think price is going? My answer would be, it's likely going to push up for another leg. But because I can see these orders down here, it's making me think slightly different. I mean, it does look like we've got to move up. Now, you can argue about that all day. You know, there's probably traders going to say, oh, maybe it's a break. But yeah, we got two legs back. It's still likely to push up. But this market's it's just messing around a bit today. It's not moving nice and comfortably and clearly obvious. See, if you're trading things the other way around, you may say lower high. Let's take the lower high. But I can tell you now, listen to some comments. There's traders looking for a lower high above this or a higher low above this. So traders are still thinking this thing's moving up. So there you go. It came down. It's bounced a tick off there, a tick off that 65. So channel break new high. Is this working down now? It's quite random this today. It's not moving. You know, it's not moving obviously how it does a lot of the time. So some sellers there around about the 74-ish. So there are sellers there. And sellers at 77. So a trader's thinking this is going down now. It's hard to say. Buyer's still at 65. See, I think price will break above this and then come down. It might not even get above it, to be fair. My guess is it's going to come down below there, and these buyers. The buyers are slightly above 65, but they do start from 65. So if you want to buy, probably expect it to break below there. That's assuming aggressive buyers and sellers. Sorry, it's aggressive buyers. So it's pushed above there now. So let's see what happens. So aggressive buyers, see them climbed up there. There's almost double the amount of aggressive buyers than there are sellers. It's evening out a bit. So now you've got a bullish bar and a higher low, both possibly trapped. Uh, there goes the first one. We know there are buyers down here. 65, you can see them. See if this one holds. See, I think price is going to break above there, then come down, stop out that one, stop out that one. It's done exactly that. There is a bull bar with a higher low. We've got a kind of a break, maybe 2 legs down. I could listen in the comments on some of the discords saying traders looking for higher lows. So if you'd have took that, I thought the bar was naff, and if you'd have took that, you'd have got a 1.25. 'Cause it's got to push through. There we go. Straight to those orders, stopping at that one and that one. I wouldn't have known that unless I was looking at Bookmap, but those orders were down there. This looked a bit shady. I could see sellers up here before the highs. So I waited and listened to Bookmap, and it told me these areas, and I looked at them and marked them, and fair enough. If you didn't like that one, you may have taken the higher low. Triggered it. I said I think that's going to push up and then come back down, and it did exactly that. And that's just from looking at Bookmap. It's just helping me identify where price is likely to go and where these buyers and sellers are, and that just gives you a better overall picture of where the market's likely to go. So it's definitely a plus. It doesn't take too long to get to grips with it either, really. But there you go. If it's useful to you and it helps you, but it gives me a better understanding where other traders with money are, so I'm not battling with them. So now this is looking like a downtrend of sorts, but my only slight concern is here is that's the bottom of the channel. We're coming away from it. So when that happens, often I see it as a break. We often get a break of it. We're losing kind of momentum. It's just hard to know what the hell's going on today, to be honest with you. We may be getting 2 legs back, but this is really hard to trade. This is, it's kind of swinging relatively wildly. I mean, each swing's 20 points plus. You know, there are other traders thinking, you know, this is a downtrend as well, but I'm sitting tight here because this is coming away from the bottom. Now, it doesn't always work, but usually when we do that, often we'll get a break of it. So I tend to stay out of this next trade. You may say lower high there. Maybe. Having said that, I can't see many orders above price, but there are around about 63, which is below that bull bar. So my guess is this may come down to this level, so that trade may work. Because I can't see many orders. The strongest orders I can see are about 74, which is up here. That's a fair way away. But as you can see, this for me is going at a funny angle compared to the angle it visually looks. So I would avoid that anyway. Because I think aggressive buyers will buy that for starters. And there we go. See those aggressive buyers? There's more aggressive buyers than sellers. So if you took that bear bar there as a lower high, well, your guess is as good as mine. I think it's likely to get stopped out. But you have got buyers down here, so it may hold. But my guess is it'd be a crying shame if it didn't break above there, because it's going to clear liquidity, and exactly what it did. So you can clearly see it's coming away from the bottom there. If this is the top of the channel, this is the bottom of the channel, it's clearly struggling to get down. So it's kind of doing that, isn't it? And when we get that, we often have a break of the channel. Now, there are sellers around about the 72 and a bit. So my guess is it is going to pull price above that bar there. That's 72 and a bit. And maybe a little bit higher as well. There, something like that. So there you go. Did what I expected it to do. Channel down and it broke it, because I can see it coming away. So, you know, learning the skills to use these and having that little extra bonus there of being able to see where our other sellers are playing a part. See, I'm one single guy in the middle of a shitty little town in the UK on a computer stuck in a room. I don't really know what other traders are doing, but having this there, it's giving me a little bit of a heads up where I could come into problems with other traders, maybe trading the opposite direction to me. How big a screen I've got? How big screen? Okay, so I've got 3 screens currently. I've got two 36-inch, 35-inch wide 2K wide screens, one above the top, and I've got another, I think it's 27-inch just to the right of me. Trouble is, I've got things like I've got a Discord on here. I've got my OBS, which is what I'm streaming, the software I'm streaming through. Then obviously I've got YouTube, which is, and then I've got all my other bits and pieces as well. I've got the 10,000 tick chart to the right top of me. I have got a photo anywhere of what I'm using, but I like these widescreen ones. You can get a little bit more on them, and they're nice. Okay, we know there are sellers here. We marked them. You're on a 15-inch laptop. That's how I started on a laptop. In fact, I had an old MacBook Pro. I think it was a 2013 MacBook Pro, which I had Windows installed on. And then I built one about 4.5 years ago. I built one. I've never done it before. That's the good thing about YouTube. You can more or less do anything, can't you? So I just decided to upgrade. I had one laptop and I had one little 24-inch monitor, and then I got a second 24-inch monitor. And it's just you make do what, but when you're streaming, obviously I need some extra screens just to cover the extra bit. Chris, how you doing, lads? Can you quick comparison between Dan's trading and Thomas Wade's? Is there much difference? Yeah. Put it this way. The main difference I see is they draw their channels quite different. Dan tends to draw them quite tight like that, whereas I think I'll show you in a minute. I think Thomas Wade went more like that. Thomas Wade tends to draw them wider sooner. Dan tends to keep them tight. I think personally the tighter channels are better. See that there? We've got that tight channel there. You can clearly see a little break and a new high, so that channel's played out. So that's the main difference. I think in Thomas Wade's Discord, he posts his chart a little bit more. So if you want to see charts a little bit more, I think Thomas Wade goes for between 2 points and 10 ticks. Dan goes like a flat 6 ticks. So they're both kind of different. Can you see these two areas where I put sellers here? What happened? Price had 2 legs up, hit the sellers, and is working down. So it does help you make better decisions. So, sorry. So, cost-wise, I think Dan's about 25 plus tax per month. Thomas Wade's 100 per month. So there's not a huge amount of difference. I know with Thomas Wade's, you get part of the academy where there's learning materials and so on, but they're both really nice guys. Both good traders. But it's surprising how people trade different things. Now, the kind of newer guy on the block is Vladdy. I think he's been around for a while, but he trained one-on-one with Mac for a couple of years. And same again, he trades quite different trades, a lot of kind of reversal patterns, and he goes for, I think, 2 points. So I think everyone starts with Mac and they kind of find their own. Yeah, I had a couple of emails with Mac a few years ago, and he said he kind of teaches you the basics and then you kind of find your own style. So everyone, although we take the majority of the same trades, you know, we do kind of look at things quite different. So I suppose it's kind of the way it is. No patch trader uses channels for decisions, so I skip channels. No patch trader uses channels for decisions, so I skip channels completely. I don't know if I agree with that. Matt uses channels. Dan uses channels. Mark uses channels. Marco uses channels. Vladdy uses. Everyone I know uses channels. Private mentorship with Eric for 9 months in the second. Mac, I think. Made you trade better. He's a good trader, Marco is. He's got a really good mentality for trading. So channel down there, 2 little legs up with a break, nice big bearish bar. There was orders there. I could see him. I deleted them. What happened? Price came down, made a new low. So, you know, I'm reading the market right. I could see it was coming away from the bottom, so I expected a break. We had a break. We had short traders up here. I could see them on there. I put my lines there. The short traders came down, so it's played out again. So, you know, with a combination of what I learned anyway over the last kind of 5 years and having Bookmap to help me identify where other traders, just to give you that little bit of confidence, is helping me make, you know, better decisions. Well, I mean, I don't know what Mac does in his day-to-day stuff. I know when he teaches traders, he teaches you to use channels so you can identify breaks and so on and so forth. I know Dan uses them. Dan trades, I think, is probably as close to Mac. Thomas Wade draws channels and explains market is up now, but I can see that. Well, you can, yeah. I can see what price is doing. Sometimes I don't draw all the channels because you kind of know I do it just more for reference, really. But I can clearly see that is a channel up. I can clearly see that. I don't need to draw it, but I kind of do it because it's how I was taught. It's kind of habit, and you know, sometimes it does identify. Excuse me, help you identify small breaks and stuff. But I'm pretty confident if I get rid of all my channels, I can probably still trade uh, and make money. But I I do it. It's how I've been taught, and that's kind of, you know what I mean. From Wisdom Mac, if that he marks 10 trades, yeah. I mean, we can all come back at the end of the day and mark trades, can't we? Because when you know where price went, it's easy. Now, when you're not sure what's happening here, you can't really trade it. Now I know where it went up. You could say, all right, maybe there was a second entry short there, but when you don't know where price is going, apart from the current bar you're looking at, you just have to rely on your experience to make informed decisions. And it's easy to mark 10 trades after the fact, but in reality, when you're looking at price happening live in front of you, you've got the added pressure of having, money in the game. You have to wait for things that are clear. You'll see Max sometimes marking big channels up and marking a trade here, a trade here. Until you go up a few times and confirm a channel, you can't really start taking trades. But if I put a thing here now, a line here now, I can, after the fact, I can say, well, there was a trade here, there was an ILO here, but until price gets up to the top and you draw a bigger channel, you can't always tell. So you're always kind of going to, so I can see more orders down here than up there. We've got a break of the channel. Maybe we get 2 legs down. I'm not getting into a 20. I mean, look at it. 26 ticks. It's not even finished yet. Technically, that channel's played out, so I'm just sitting tight here. I'm not getting involved in something that large. Although I can see strong orders around 61. So do I think price is going to get to 61-ish? Absolutely. Between 61, between 60 and 62. So these lows, that's probably an easy way to do that. So those orders there are between, say, 62.5 and 60. So if I put that there, 60 and 62.5-ish, somewhere around about there, which is the lows. So I think there's a good chance this is going to come down. There's always going to be different opinions, and I mean, we all drive cars, don't we? But we don't always drive them the same way. You kind of get taught to drive a certain way, and then you kind of find your own way and your own style, don't you? Channel down. There's a possible second entry short here. There's a bull bar which is triggered. So I'm just looking at these orders down here. They're more around 62 now. So are they going to come down lower? Maybe not. Yeah, Marco. No idea what's right. Looks messy. Absolutely. It's not an easy day today. It's literally it's all over the place. There's a lot of random bouncing around, and it's not that easy to read, to be honest with you. So I have got orders down here. So maybe we get 2 little legs up and a drop. Who knows? But there are orders above. There are sellers above around the 70. So I'm just going to sit tight. Around about 70, 72 there. So leg and leg. Some sellers up here. Still ranging some bullish signs. We've had 2 legs down it. We've kind of bounced. So onto this thing's got a mind of its own today, isn't it? So I can see their orders not super strong. They're around about the 80s and 90s. But there's about 700 odd contracts, 743 contracts there at 61. So I have a feeling this may come down. See them orders there. Whether that's just going to pull price down, they're going to get yanked. But there's 743 orders there, around about the 61, which is right there. And we've got two legs up in a bearish bar. Right, they've been yanked. See, those orders just been yanked. So whenever you see large amounts of orders that just pull out like that, it's hard to say, they do this, what they call it, spoofing or whatever. But as soon as that bear bar triggered there, they seem to disappear. So doesn't often happen that, but now and again it will happen. 700 odd contracts, and as soon as that broke below there, they disappeared. So it does make you wonder what's, if there's some slightly unfair, unethical things going on, but that's the way the world works. So channel break, new low, so that's played out. Now, so what have I been going for? So 2 hours and 7 minutes. I'm going to leave that there. I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break. I'm just going to go and make a cup of tea. So I'll be about 3 to 5 minutes, and I'll be back. Uh, wow. Okay, so sellers there. So what's going to happen up here? Not an easy day today. It is rubbing, swinging, isn't it? But yeah, we had this move up, two bounces, two attempts to go lower, and then up. And why we're going to go, who knows? What a day I almost banned people. You feel free to do whatever you want, Karina. Uh, in fact, I think you can put me in timeout, can't you? I don't think we've ever had a ban in, have we? I don't think. Okay, so prices did push up at that level. So are they going to get absorbed, or is price going to start moving up? So the orders at 90, which is there, close to. Let's have a look. How far are we? Excuse me. Okay. So is this a channel? It's not terrible, is it? Mm. Yeah, I was just kind of thinking that there is a possibility, a bit of an overshoot. Uh, Often that happens. We have an overshoot, pushes up, hits the top, and then reverses. Their orders at 77 and a half, which is at that EMA. So we'll see. How would I feel about going long here? After that overshoot, I'm always a little bit wary. Not only that, we've broken that previous high, not the overnights. Uh, so you never know. The way this market is randomly, we've kind of had this. We've had two legs, haven't we? So with an overshoot, as we know, an overshoot can result in a bigger correction, a break. We certainly had a break of the channel or a reversal. There are sellers at the strongest buys I can see are at 77.50. So there are traders willing to buy there. So maybe the overshoot. It's hard to say. It does actually work up there, so maybe it's okay. But if it's a possible overshoot, I always like to assume it is. Uh, yeah. Thomas Wade's got it as an overshoot. So it's possible. Need a higher low, arch, and need a higher low because of possible. Yeah, you've definitely got to pay attention that it may be. The thing that's giving me confidence that it might not be is these buyers. Hold on a sec. Are they moving? Are they? No, they're still there. around 77.50, and there are sellers now at about 84. So where's 84 before the highs? So is this on its way down? Tough one. Okay, so we push down, hit them buyers. So that can go. Let's just yank it out of the place. I might use it in a minute. So there is a little channel down there like that. With a break at a new low. There are still more orders there, just below 77.50. Let's say 77 there. So there are buyers here. Okay, buyers here. So for me, price is going to come down to this level. Maybe a touch lower. Do you know something? I'm not so sure whether this is now reversing. I can see way more orders down here, stronger orders down here than above. So possible second entry long, it would have to be a higher low at least, really. So it hit them orders. There are some more down here now at 75. Is this starting to pull price down? Also sellers are around about the 80, 82, this area. So our traders starting to think now maybe this is on its way down. Okay, they got taken. So is this reversing? I think it is. It's dropping down really quickly. Yeah, aggressive sellers are climbing as well. So you see the little bounce there, bounce there, bounce there. So traders seem quite happy to short this area up here. I suppose it makes sense, doesn't it? But it's really not an easy day today. The price action's crap. It's just unpredictable. We start little channels. We have a break, big strong move down to a new low. We push up, small break, new high, little channel break, new low. It's really bouncing around. Fell break depends where you've got your depends where you've got your top, doesn't it? I've kind of got mine at that kind of the main body. Let's have a look. Find out where the traders have got this. Uh, right, Dan hasn't even got a. It might do. Might be up here. Can't see it. So I can't see where Dan's got one up here. It doesn't even look like he's got a range at all in play there. He's just playing the kind of price action as it forms. Thomas Wade. Yeah, he's got one down here, so he's got his there. So yeah, maybe overshoot, push up, new high, and then a drop. It's just bouncing around. Excuse me. It's just really hard to read at the moment. So that looks like a two-tier channel to me, the way that's working. Okay, so there are buyers there below that bar. So if we can get two legs up, the trouble is, it's just hard to say, and it's bouncing here, isn't it? There are sellers here. Now, if this is ranging and we've had a failed breakout, often we'll get something the other end. And if we're looking at this as the bottom of a range, which you could possibly say that, I wouldn't be shocked if this does come down to this area. As we know, when we range in and we get a breakout that fails, often we'll get one the other side. So this is launching up there. So we had sellers there and sellers there. That's going up in one leg for me, so I can't. There's not really much I can do there. quick aggressive sell there. Uh, a little double bottom, didn't there? Okay, 76. Shorts up here. There's not that many buyers down here, so my guess is going to push up a bit higher. So that's around the 76 to 77. So let's do it about there. So this for me is going to go up a little bit higher. Okay, bearish bar there, triggered, pushed up, lightly stopped out. You can see these sell orders. When it got to here, I said it's likely to go up a bit. So a bearish bar like that, I wouldn't take. There's bound to be traders thinking this thing's likely to come down, but when it triggers you like that with buy a tick, almost always stops you out. And with these with these sellers up here, my guess is that's going to stop that bear bar out, especially when it triggers it for a tick. It's just a leg with a break and a new high. You got to wait for a lower high there, really, if you want to try and test this bottom. But we got like what looks like a little double bottom here, so I'd just be avoiding everything here. All I can see, strong order wise, is there 77.5. So why isn't that going to push up there really? Unless we have aggressive sellers, there's more aggressive buyers at the moment. So if you took that, there's about to be traders thinking break, channel break, new extreme, bearish bar. Got to break the lows off this. But that's the beauty of having bookmap. You can see where there are orders, so it may keep you out of that. I wouldn't have taken the trade anyway, to be honest with you. Although it's a channel break new high, it's a little bit congested here. So really, I think you got to wait for a strong move down below that EMA, even if you want to try and test those. But with that little double bottom there, I had my thoughts where price may go. It's not easy today. The trouble is, if it's ranging, look, every time it hits these bottoms, it's hitting at different places. So it's almost impossible to trade these from bottoms, really. All you got to try and do is maybe just, lower highs or something off the top and vice versa off the bottom. But it's just hard. There was nothing lower highways there. There was nothing really there. There was, in an orange whether we going up. It's just so hard. That one there, the second entry short after the break, I don't think was terrible. It was a big bar, so I left it. So it's just one of those things. But we have had that break out the top, and often when we do, we get a stronger one at the bottom. So, as I say, today it's not really trading how it normally does. It's a little bit different today, a little bit more random. So those sell orders climbing up to around about the 800 mark, 77, 78, 800, somewhere around this area. Definitely a trickier day today. Mind you, we've said that every day the last week and a half. Oh, shh. Okay. Yeah, there are sellers here. Leg, break, two pushes to a new high. Sellers there. Is that going to push price down? May well do. This area is definitely playing a part. You can see it push into it, bounce, push into it, bounce, push into it, bounce. Close to it there. So I'm not surprised there are sellers in this area. It makes perfect sense. And a leg with a break, two pushes to a new high. And lower high back to the EMA wouldn't be the worst trade in the world. I'd like to get to that 80 though there. Uh, you can see those orders there. They start now, so it may go down a bit earlier, but I'd like to get, but you can clearly see how you can see how it's reacting there. Trouble is, if you get in here, it may be a bit premature. See, if you like that for a channel break, two pushes to a new high for a reversal, I wouldn't take a bearish bar because I can see the strength and orders there. And for me, I'd expect it to, if it does trigger it, to push up and stop it out. The bar's a doji anyway, so it's, but I wouldn't be surprised if it triggers below it and pushes up, regardless of whether it's a doji or not, because there may be some traders take it. But it's all right. There's some buyers here as well, so my guess is this is going to push up in this area. We'll see. We've had a little, two little bounces there at the right level. So, but with those, all those orders there, you'd have to favour that, wouldn't you? I mean, you may get aggressive sellers here. They don't seem to be climbing up. No, they're not. So, I mean, channel break, you wouldn't take anything here anyway. It's clearly congested. You certainly wouldn't take that bearish bar, would you? Because it's triggered. I think without doubt it's going to push up, especially when I can see these orders in here. So here we go, straight into these orders. So channel break, 2 pushes to a new high. So I won't be surprised if we get some strong selling from here. That's it, that 80 level there. Let's see what happens. You've still got to get strong confirmation that this thing wants to go down. At the moment, we've still got aggressive buyers buying, and there are sellers creeping up. So it may go up a touch more, but I'd like to see a nice bearish bar followed by a lower high here. I'd still be a bit nervous of taking that because I can still see orders around about there. I don't want to just take that first bar. I think the lower high is a safer option. But if there's aggressive sellers that like that, it's not forming anyway, then it may come down. But for me, with the orders creeping up, this may come up a touch more. It's not a huge amount of orders, but they are there. Around about 81-ish, thereabouts. It's really horrible price action, this, really. It's been relatively crap the last. I've spoken to quite a few people, Marco and Dan and people like that, and they're just saying it's not easy at the moment. But this does happen from time to time. No, I haven't, mate. No, I haven't taken a trade this week. I took one last week, and that was it. Not easy at the moment. It's unusual for me because I usually have I'll take probably 4 trades a week. I tend to know because I often go down. My wife says, "Have you done?" I go up. I'm up one. But the last couple of weeks been pretty awful. But the thing is, you have to follow your rules, and you can't bend your rules because there's not many trades. You still have to stick to your rules more than ever. It's more important because it's so easy to bend things because you're thinking, "Oh, I've not got a trade." But it's amazing how you can have one week. See, if you ask me where I like to be money wise, trade wise, or profitable over a month, I'd like to be around about $1,000 per month. So if you could do two clear winning trades a week, obviously taking away the odd loss, it's not difficult. But even if you only do half of that, so let's say you do 4 profitable clear trades in a month, it's still over what, $500-600. If you've got 20 accounts, it's still $10,000. So even when it's crap and quiet, you don't need to do a lot. Even if you're scraping the bottom of the barrel, you can still make money. The trick is when it's like this, you get impatient, or the problem is when it's like this, you get impatient and you squeeze a poor trade and you get stung. And then if there's no trades, even the next trade or the next 1.5 trade may get you back to where you previously was. So, every day you go without a trade, it's very easy to start thinking about, start panicking. But I've been trading this long enough now to know we've been through times like this before. We do now and again. We'll just have a crap month it's been a crap 2 weeks. See, when was it? October? Was it October? September, October was really good for me. I had a really good payout in October. I traded for about 2.5 months, and I got accounts up to 3,000 and 4,000. I took 18,000. So it does go like that sometimes for whatever reason. It's hard to put your finger on it exactly. Some may say it's Christmas. Yeah, I know but some people kind of think, why aren't you taking trades? But you've only really ever got to take what you believe to be a good setup. Now, is this a good setup? I'm gonna leave this because I can see their orders. See those orders there, 87.5. Where's that? Right above that bear bar. Now, I don't think it's the worst place in the world to short, but for me, it's a bit premature personally. Having said that, we have got strong buyers down here at 80, so it may come down to that EMA. But for me, I can see those strong sellers at 87.5. And where's 87.5? One tick above that bearish bar. So it may come down and then push back up. But for me, I'd rather just sit tight at the moment. If you get aggressive sellers selling it, it may go back. We've made a second bar now, so it may go down. But it's not for me. On the left chart, we got a bearish bar followed by a doji. So by far the stronger orders are 87.5 above, which is exactly where my stop is. Is that random? I don't think so. Now, I wouldn't take a trade like that. There'd have been a time where I would have done, you know, like Max says, he thinks trading ranges are easy. You just short the top and buy the bottom. It's not always that straightforward. Because at the moment, with the exception of these two, every time we're hitting the top, it's hitting a different level. And the bottom as well. After that failed breakout there, often when we come down, we make one the opposite side, and we haven't there. So it's quite random, and it's a little bit of just bouncing a bit. It's hard price action today, to be honest with you, but there's nothing you can do about it. You know, all the frustration in the world isn't going to change anything. There we go. So straight to them orders. So, you know, I've mentioned where price is going to go multiple times on here and why I maced it. Now, some of the trades I wouldn't have took anyway, but I guarantee there will be traders, Pat's traders taking that, thinking channel break, new high, bearish bar, broke the previous high, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, it's useful to have this because I could see those orders one tick above my signal bar. So if I decided to take that, I'm stuck. I'm in and then I'm out of it and I'll have a loss. Now, I wouldn't take that anyway, but there are some times where I'm thinking, I actually don't mind this, but then Bookmap keeps me out and it didn't work. So it's always best to have something if you can. This certainly, I know it's not for everyone, but this gives me that little bit of confidence and self-belief that I can see there are other traders there. And no one likes getting trapped, do they? There's nothing worse than it, especially when it triggers you, stops you out by a tick and ends up rocketing down the way you expected it to go. 5-minute chart, seeing some decent setups. Yeah, it's always a way in it. If you switch to a 1500 tick chart or a 3000 tick chart or a minute or 2 minute, you'll usually see something on one of them. The trouble is, I find the more you have, you got eyes going everywhere then, and you may be paying. I tended to pay attention to one of them, and then it might not be the one that there's a lot of setup. So it's just one of those things. You rates me more, getting ticked and then immediately stop. I know, yeah, it's heartbreaking. It doesn't happen. The more you've been doing it, the less it happens. It doesn't happen to me much now, but you learn by that happening to you. It's infuriating when it happens, but it does teach you just to be aware and just to kind of keep your eyes open. But yeah, it's a pain in the arse when that happens, I gotta say. And then, especially then, it rubs your nose in it, doesn't it, by going that same way. Yeah, it's frustrating, isn't it? Especially when it does it with a tick. And they say there's nothing personal. The market's not personally out to get you. I disagree. If it triggers you by one tick and stops you out, it's bloody personal. I'm certainly taking it, but because it knows where a lot of these stops are. I don't know how all the mechanics works, but you hear certain things, don't you? But, you know, they have stop runs and all this, don't they? Take out traders and so on and so forth. But it's frustrating. But yeah, that one triggered. I don't know how much you'd have got out of it, but it wouldn't have worked for me, that's for certain. So you'd have got 2 points out of it, maybe. Depends where you got in. Squeeze 2 points. I certainly wouldn't. And if that's a good setup, really, you at least expect it to get back to that EMA. But at the moment, it's, every time we get a top, it's in a different place, and the same with the bottom. So, uh, it's not easy, is it? So, possible other breakout here. Would you take it? I wouldn't, based on what I can see at the moment, because you can see this kind of big tunnel, can't you, on Bookmap, which is slowly drawing price up. So there's a bearish bar there. That one did the same, triggered it and stopped it out. So if you get into that one, then like that one, you're screwed over twice, which is a pain in the arse. But we got orders at 90 there. Sellers. I don't even want to get into this market at the moment. There's nothing worse, though, when your patience goes as well and you get stung. You never seem to even get lucky. If you make a mistake, mark it as a habit of rubbing your nose in it. It is infuriating. It's infuriating learning to trade, I got to say. But all that frustration does teach you where you do learn after a while where to stay out of. You learn where all the traps are. You can't sit in front of this chart every day and not start to figure out what's going on. So is this thing going to go a bit higher? So we've got orders up here at 900. That's a fair bit higher above price. So if we got this move up, then a couple of legs back. So yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if we end up up here somewhere. That's getting close to yesterday's highs, isn't it? So it's been a sweeping moving day, isn't it? I mean, if you can identify trades and you've got runners, these days like this, you're probably going to make money, but that's maybe where it might go. Yeah, price has been slowly drawn up. That looks okay. That's actually fitting quite nice. So you can still see this kind of tunnel we're in, can't you? Stronger orders above, slightly weaker orders below. You'd think it would be the other way around. If there's stronger sellers above, you think price would more likely to get pushed down, but it doesn't seem to work that way. So 92.5 next, which is here. I don't think it'll be long. So we have just broken overnight highs. Pretty sure there's not a gap there. It's hard to tell because I can't see the stem behind that day. I think we're going a bit higher. We've certainly filled it now anyway. So you can see now that kind of tunnel is now starting to stretch up a little bit, isn't it? Aggressive buyers as well, which you'd probably expect. Trouble is, there's bound to be some profit taking there, so you would think a little pullback here. Strong sellers at 95. That's going to take us a bit higher. Buyers at 90, not very low. So we may not get much of a pullback even if we get one. Way more stronger up here than here. 95-ish contracts there, and there are various ones around it as well. But there's 100, at 95, so that might just sap price straight up. Uh, and there she goes. Straight to that level there. And then 900's the top of the tree that I can see at the moment. So just me talking about Bookmap today and marking these levels and seeing price getting to more or less everywhere where I mark. If you know where price is likely to go, you can make a much more of an informed decision. You've seen me do it today. You've seen me draw these lines and prices have gone exactly where we think they're going to go. Unfortunately, we haven't had any really solid setups. That one wasn't terrible. Even if it's a little bit sideways here, you can, you may argue it's a failed breakout. But it moved really quick and it was a fair old size bar. So you'd have gotten a tick below and a tick below, tick above and below. It's a 5.25 point risk. Because it's so bouncing around random, I think your confidence in what you see in plays tricks with you, which is another reason I may have stayed out of it. But it did work relatively strongly and cleared liquidity there and these two levels down here. So strong buyers at 90, 230 contracts. I think we may get down to them. So we've clearly broken above the day. And now we're having a bit of pullback. You can see them big orders at 90. It might have been slightly above 90. It's eaten those up anyway. So there we go. So now that is a failed breakout. That has had plenty of times. We've come back and bounced twice here and pushed up strong. Did the book map indicate the recent breakout? I'm not sure what you mean, bud. What breakout you on about? This one? I'm not sure what you mean, bud. Now, quickly anyway, as we've broken out here above this and we've bounced twice and pushed up with a strong bar, any failed breakout here for me is null and void. I'm not sure how to explain how to answer that, bud. The actual did the book map indicate the recent breakout? I'm not sure what you mean. All I'm doing is kind of following levels, so all I'm looking at is where prices are likely to get to, and I'm just following that. So, so I think if we get a decent setup here, I'd be okay with taking that. I would, because we've broken above this and bounced and pushed up strong, and we're still going up quite strong. You'd expect to pull back above this. So I'll be looking for two legs down there. So let's see if we get something. Thomas Wade, I get frustrated a bit more when I take a loser I knew I shouldn't have because I ended up acting impulsively. So even Thomas Wade, he clearly makes money. But that's what I like about Thomas Wade. He's not ashamed at all to show losses or admit he takes losses. A lot of traders are. They don't. I know when I was kind of first coming into this space and, speaking with other traders and looking at other charts on the Facebook group, very few people posted the losses. I kind of feel a bit embarrassed about them. But that's why, like Thomas Wade, he was happy to make videos and show it, is because it's important to know that it doesn't matter who they are. I know I was watching, what's his name? Thomas Hugard. Thomas Hugard? Maybe a few months ago. He took 3 losses in a row, and that kind of made me feel good because, he's clearly a seasoned trader. I think I need bookmap for my swings on the stocks. The good thing is, I mean, you can pay for it. It's not super cheap, but you can watch it free. I just have this on YouTube. It's playing live, so there's about a 3-second delay, but that's irrelevant to me. I can see those price up at that level, and it's already marked, so I don't need to see kind of super up to date. So we pull back, we go sideways, we don't really make a new low, and then it just pushes up. So I'm hoping this trigger this bull bar. We may get a second leg down here. I don't think we will because the buyers down here aren't as strong as the sellers. So unless these aggressive sellers kick in, I feel price is going to come up to that 95 level before it. In fact, that 95 level is below price, so it may come down. Trouble is, we didn't hit the EMA. That always worries me. So we know we got strong orders at 900. Really want another leg back here. Preferably down to that EMA. But I don't think we're going to get it. I think it'll hit this 95 before it breaks below here. Purely because there's more sellers up there. Yeah, there are buyers at 90 and a little bit below. And sellers at 95. Now I prefer when we have a break that sellers are above the highs or above the new extreme. If there's sellers here before the top, that tells me they may think it's going to push down or it may start to range. Either way, there's nothing I can do where price is floating here in the middle of this above that EMA. So there are some buyers at 90, which is there. I would prefer buyers a little bit lower. There are some around about the 97.5. I would prefer them around about this level, preferably below there. But that bear bar has triggered. The trouble is, you can't really take that. That bar's floating right in the middle of nowhere. There are some sellers here. Aggressive buyers will climb there. See them? There's more than double there. I see that push up, and then if you look left there, you can see there's twice as much as aggressive buyers. There's nothing you can do here, really. Slightly above 85, which is about there. Just congested, really. There's not much you can do. All day's not been easy. Big orders at about 96, which is one tick above there. So if we can get two legs down, I think this will still push up. Because there's big orders at 96. There's 500 odd contracts at that red line there, one tick above that bearish bar there, and then there are orders at 900. So if we can get two legs down here, hopefully there's going to be some buyers that are going to start to appear in a minute. Down here, that will be two legs down. Can't see many really. I'm hoping we're going to get some around about the 88.5-ish level. Preferably, well, below that that bull bar there, but there's just not enough orders down here to suck price at the moment. There's some at 90. I don't think that's low enough. There's a failure there. Second entry short failure, but I'm not taking a failure right in the middle of this that far from the EMA. Having said that, it's probably not going to come down here, but I can see massive sellers there. So when this bar's finished, there's no room to the top. Even if I go from there, there's 2 points at a push. It ain't closed yet. So I can't get into a long there, to be honest with you, because there's 500 odd. They've disappeared a bit now, but it's just congested. It's just triggered that bull bar. Where's price going? It's completely congested. You can see it here, so not much you can do here. My guess is we are going to go up. We're pushed up. We're going sideways. You can clearly see the orders up here, so I think the top's going to get taken out. But unfortunately, we don't get anywhere near the EMA. There we go, I think. It's just we don't get anywhere near it. Thought for a minute we may get a second leg down, but there just wasn't enough buyers here to suck price down. So usually the 10,000 tick chart makes things a little bit clearer. Not today. It's clearly slowly going up in some form, but I mean the bottoms doesn't look terrible, but what can you do? It's not easy today. Seem to be saying that more and more. Just can't take a trade that far from the EMA, especially when it's chopping sideways. I'm really surprised we haven't had any orders down here, appear below here. It's just not got the legs to come down now, see? The stronger orders are above, which is sucking price up. Probably because we never saw any orders down here, which is why price never got anywhere near that EMA. So, new high by a tick. Maybe time for a single malt. So I still think, well, mind you, this area at 900 has been there for a fair old amount of time. Sometimes the longer it's been there, it doesn't seem to get up there. Uh, I think that might be it for me today. Can't see things getting any better. I'd like to see how many dozen trades Mac marks. Whenever we get days like this, I think you can't mark much more than 2 or 3. And he always surprises me. Mind you, did say yesterday there wasn't a lot yesterday. In hindsight, it's a lot easier. Of course it is. But I mean, even stuff like that, you can't really mark that, to be honest with you. It's a little channel with a break. Can't really say there's 2 legs up there. There isn't really, and it's far from that EMA. And you never know, you may get a second leg up. So there's nothing you could do. Nothing you can do here. There isn't really here either because the channel's played out. You have to give this a little bit of space. Maybe that, I don't know. You may mark a few. Who knows? So is there kind of a spike channel of sorts there? Maybe. Possible. Mm. Okay, I think I'm done for today, folks. How long have I been going for? 3 odd hours. Not an easy day today, but it does happen. Whether it's part of the lead up to Christmas, I don't know. People said it's probably something to do with FOMC yesterday, but it is moving. But it's just it's a lot of randomness to it. Some of these weird channels just aren't super clear, and then you get a load of chop. And it's usually the market moves in some form of a sort of regular pattern, doesn't it? But today, not so straightforward. I can't even think about drawing something as a larger channel. I don't know. Mac may have something in store for us. I don't know, but it's not easy, is it, today? I think we can all agree there. I mean, there's always a possibility there may be something like that, but that doesn't help you. It doesn't do nothing for you, really. So, just not easy today. Most traders, I'm saying, I just put a comment on a minute, and everyone think the price action's crap, and everyone's gone 100%. So, if you are not taking trades, don't worry about it. We're all in the same boat at the moment. It's not great. So I'm going to leave you guys to it. So if you carry on trading, best of luck. I hope something happens. But even if like Mac will say, when it's that strong, you may just take first entries. If you took that first entry, it triggered you and stopped you out. So, every time we get a bull bar here, it's moving up, and you think, oh, sod it, next bull bar you take that when it triggers you, stops you out. You're damned if you do and damned if you don't. The only way it ever works in this business is to sit and wait for a really solid trade. Doesn't matter whether you want to wait 10 minutes or 10 days. If you haven't got a setup, you can't take it, because if you do and you lose your patience, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get shafted. And then you're just back to square one, but with an extra pain in the arse. So, yeah, you too, guys. So I'll leave you to it. Have a safe evening, and we'll catch up tomorrow. You too, bud. We'll catch up tomorrow, and hopefully we may see if we can get something. But the days are flying quick. Will be Christmas in, what is it, 2 weeks? 2 weeks today? Oh, my God. Anyway, I'll leave you guys to it. Take it easy. Stay safe. We'll catch up tomorrow.